Hi everyone. It is Laura and David here. Today we have no Will. Will is usually on the keyboards. He is moving house today, so it is just us two here. Hi Catherine from Chicago. Hi Rico. Oh, Palm Beach, Florida. That sounds nice. It's horrible and rainy over here. So I shall crack on with the introductions while everyone's joining. So my name is Laura. If a few of you probably this might be your first. This is the third webinar I think we've done, looking at different bits of Coverage Book. I'm Laura, Head of Customer Success here, and we have David, who is Head of Support. So today David's going to do a super quick run through of all the metrics that we gather for you in Coverage Book and where the data comes from, how to hide it in your report. And then I will quickly jump on to show just a few different reports who use metrics in different ways. So as always, we're trying to keep it super quick, super short, because I know how busy everybody is. So we're trying to keep it within the half an hour. So if you have questions when you go along, feel free to pop them in the chat. Like I said, we don't have Will here, who's normally manning the chat, so I will. I'm just not quite as fast. My fingers aren't as fast as Will, so I'll do my best to keep up, but we'll loop round and catch any questions that we've not got by the end. So enough of me. I'll pass you over to the lovely David.
Hello, everyone. Right, let me just share my screen. If you've joined our previous couple of webinars, you will recognize our live promo book full of book coverage, which we've been using to kind of demo these as we go. So today we will touch on just a brief overview of kind of all of the metrics that we collect by default at Coverage Book for both online and social coverage when you upload those. And then we'll look at how you can customize the metrics cards. You can move things around. You can hide and show metrics to really tailor the reports to suit your clients' needs and what numbers they want to see. And then we'll also look at how you can add your own numbers and metrics cards and individual custom metrics to clips as well. So first of all, let's get started with looking at an online coverage item. So this is a piece of coverage from prmoment.com featuring our very own Stella. And you will see at the top of the screenshot, we break out the outlet level and publication kind of level metrics at the top of the coverage. And then to the right-hand side, you will see the individual metrics that relate specifically to this piece of coverage. So the first metric that we collect is domain authority, or DA. This is a metric that's probably more widely recognized in the SEO and digital marketing space, and it comes from an organization called moz.com. And what they do is that they score websites between 1 to 100, with 100 being the best. And it's basically a score of how well established and influential a website is in terms of its search engine's rankings. So the higher the DA score, the more established the site and likelihood of your coverage getting more exposure. So it's quite a good way of benchmarking your coverage as you import it. The next metric that you will see alongside that is unique monthly visits, and this is powered by SimilarWeb.com. I'm pretty sure that everybody here will recognize SimilarWeb and probably are very familiar with what they do, but they are regarded as one of the best providers of web traffic data. And the numbers that we show for Coverage Book are unique visits. So this will be the estimated number of unique visitors to all of prmoment.com within a monthly period prior to when you've uploaded the coverage. So essentially, this will be a good indication of how many people are visiting this web page on a monthly basis. So then down on the right-hand side, this is where we start to focus on the numbers that relate specifically to this piece of coverage. I'm going to start by looking at engagements. So for all online coverage that you import, we will collect the number of times the article's URL has been shared across Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest. So in this particular case, this article has been shared 7 times on Twitter and 6 times on Facebook. This is one of the only metrics in Coverage Book that isn't static. So when you import something like an online piece of coverage, things like the domain authority and the unique visits, etc., they won't automatically update over time, but you can choose to refresh the social engagements in your report to get the latest numbers. And I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. So the next metric that we collect is Coverage Book's own proprietary algorithm where we estimate views. So this will be the number of people that we predict are likely to have viewed this piece of coverage throughout its lifetime. And we basically pull together all of the data about this site to do that. So we'll look at how many visitors does the site get in a month? How many pages of content does it have? And has the coverage featured on the homepage or has it featured elsewhere on the site? And then we'll also factor in things like social sharing activity. So where you have a particular article URL that's been shared a bunch of times on social, we will amplify the views to meet that higher sharing activity. So all in all, that will be our prediction of the total number of people we believe have viewed this coverage. I think we've got some links and some other information that we can share with you when we email out the recording information as well. But if you do have any questions on that, please do get in touch with us at support@coveragebook.com. The final one that you'll see also at the bottom is links from coverage. So for all online coverage articles that you add, we can also search for any backlinks through that coverage to your clients' websites. And you can search up to 5 different domains per book. I will show you how to do that in just a moment once we've had a look at some social clips. So in this particular book, we have got some social coverage. And at the moment, Coverage Book is able to collect metrics for Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, where we will collect audiences and engagements. You'll notice that I quickly kind of scooched past LinkedIn. That's just purely because their platform doesn't allow things like sharing data to be pulled. I think they depreciated that particular feature quite some time ago. So although we can capture the post images, we won't be able to capture any individual share details about posts on LinkedIn. But hopefully, if that does change in future, we'll be keen to add that. So for something like a social media post, here we have an Instagram upload. We will collect the number of followers that this account has. And we will also collect engagements. So typically you will see likes and comments for something like a social post. So if I click on this engagement number here, you'll see that this particular post has had 6 likes. We also apply our estimated views algorithm, and it's tweaked specifically for each social platform, where we again will predict how many of an account's followers we think are likely to have viewed this coverage for as long as it's available on this account. So around about 80 people we think have viewed this particular post. The reason that we don't estimate views for all social is that actually we collect different metrics for things like YouTube and TikTok. So what you will typically see with these platforms is we will show the number of subscribers to the account. And we will also show the direct number of views or plays of the content. And we will also collect social engagements as well. So you will see slightly different metrics depending on the social platform that you upload. Just before we continue on from here, actually, there is one other thing to mention, and that is that specifically with some accounts, if they're set to private, or if they have, if an influencer has turned embed sharing to off, it might not be possible for us to actually collect the data back from that URL simply because the account doesn't allow us access. So if you do see some posts coming through without data, that could be a reason why, but please do get in touch with us at support@coveragebook.com and we can help look into any questions that you have on that. So that's had a really good look at just the metrics that we collect. What you can also do is you can really customize and organize the metrics in any way that you like. So if I just go back to this first tab and head to the top of the book overview page. So as you start to add your online and social coverage, we will total up all of those metrics numbers and we will collect them in the metrics summary page, which is the third menu option down on the left. And what you will see here is a range of different cards that showcase the total numbers throughout your report. I've got quite a lot of cards in this report already, and I've kind of really focused that on views and engagements and the social numbers that we've had through. You can drag and drop these cards around to reorganize them as well. So if you have some priority metrics that you'd want to push to the top, you can just drag these cards and reorder them however you like. I think Laura mentioned in the email that she sent out that we have over 40 different metrics that you can choose from. And if you click in the Choose Metrics button in the top left-hand corner, or in the Add Remove Metrics from your summary option at the bottom, we have lots of different ways how you can present your coverage differently. So for example, you can choose to show the total number of pieces of coverage, or you can show how many different social platform posts you've got. You can break it out into views as well. So you can show YouTube or TikTok or social views. It's quite an exhaustive list. And then what you can do is just click on any of these cards and they will just be added to your summary. Or if you wanted to remove any, just click on the check marks and you can just take those out as well. So you can show as few or as many kind of metrics cards as you like. The other thing that you can do from here as well is that you can add your own custom cards in. So if you click on Add Custom Cards, this is where you can add your own kind of total number just to the metrics summary page. So this won't affect or show numbers next to any of your clips. This will purely just be a total number in your book. So for example, I'll call this one example total, give it a quick description, and then give it a value. And then that card will be added to your summary at the bottom. If for any reason you need to go in and edit that card, you can do that. Just click on Add Remove Metrics from your summary and then go to your custom summary cards. There we go. And you will have the option to either edit that card or you can remove it from your book. So you can also kind of add or remove and edit those as well. And before we move on, actually, there are a couple of other things that I wanted to show you about metrics before we look at how you add custom metrics to individual clips. The other thing that you can do from this page is that you can actually choose to show or hide the entire page from the report reader. So for example, if I just click on show or hide summary, I can just remove that entire page from the report if you don't want to show any totals to your readers and you just want to focus on the coverage itself. And I mentioned earlier about refreshing social shares and backlinks. So if you head over to the book overview page and then click on the metrics and backlinks menu, this is where you can access all of the book metrics settings for your particular report. And in the top left-hand corner, this is where you can check backlinks to up to 5 different domains per book. So it's really simple to use. Basically, just type in the domain address of your client's website and click on monitor for backlinks. And we will search all of the online coverage for those backlinks and we'll tally those up through the report. We currently show two different ways that you can link. We show the number of total links throughout your online coverage, and we also show the number of articles where links have been found. So in this case, there's been 27 articles with link backs. If you would like to refresh your social data at any point as well, go to the book metrics menu and click on refresh data. We get the data from our providers once every 24 hours. So that's pretty much the earliest time frame that you can refresh data in a book. But essentially, if you come to this area, click on Start Refresh, we will go away and get the latest share numbers for Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter for your online coverage. It can take up to an hour though. So if you are planning on sharing a report with a client, and you want to just get those latest share numbers, just leave enough time for those to come through before you email the link to them. And then finally, before we move on to look at custom metrics, the other thing that you can do from this page is that you can choose to show or hide any of our default metrics that you like. And to do that, just literally hit the toggle switches and you can choose to turn these off. So for example, if I wanted to turn off the outlet level metrics like domain authority and the monthly audiences from my clippings, I can just check those boxes. And then when I go to preview the book, sorry about the super fast scrolling there. When the coverage is presented, it will just show the article level metrics and it will remove any of those publisher metrics from the report as well. So you can choose to turn on or off any of our default metrics. One of the questions that we do get asked on support is whether or not it's possible to just hide one metric from an individual clip, but still keep all of the other kind of metrics labels for the others. And right now that's not possible. It's kind of like an all or nothing hide or show option, but it might be something that we look at adding in future. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to dive down and look at a piece of print coverage that I've added. So in addition to the custom metrics summary cards that you can add, you can also include your own individual custom metrics labels next to each clipping, and they will total up through the report as you add those to each subsequent clipping. So for example, here I've just uploaded a file from a fictitious newspaper. If you would like to add any custom data to this item, over on the right-hand side, you will see that there's an add custom metric option here. And if you click on this, it will open up the metrics list. If you've been a customer with us for a while, you probably already have some metrics here that are populated in this list. So if that's the case, I've only got a couple because this is a brand new demo account for me. But you can basically just scroll down the list, choose one of your metrics, add a number in, and you're good to go. You can just add that to each clip as you go. If you'd like to add a new metric, just click on the Add New button. And here, for example, I'm going to add product images and just give it a quick description. So this is going to count up the number of product images that I have within this article, for example. And then I can just choose to show that as a sum or an average. If you're doing something like perhaps a quality score where you're using your own scoring system between 1 or 10 or however you do it, you might want to choose an average and then we'll show that as a final score in your report. And then if I just hit on save and give that a value, we will add that metric to the particular clip, and it will also be added to the metrics summary page, and that number will increase as you add more over time. One thing to mention is that you can edit and remove a custom card from your report summary, but you will only be able to remove a custom metric once you have actually added it. So once I've created this product images metric, there won't be an option to actually edit it in any way or remove it permanently from your account right now. And that's just purely because we keep that as a default value in case you've used it across other reports. If you have made a mistake on something like the description that you've given the metric, or perhaps you've added one and you haven't used it in any clips yet but want to get rid of it, if you get in touch with us at support@coveragebook.com, we should be able to help out and get that fixed up for you. One of the other questions that we do get asked from time to time, and I'm almost finished, I promise, is also that if you try and add a custom metric and it doesn't work, it could be because you're trying to add something like a default circulation or viewer or listener number to a particular clipping. And you'll notice that with this print clip up in the top right hand side, we already include a default circulation value for print coverage. So if you click into this area here, I can basically give that a circulation number, and that will show as the total audience. So you won't need to add that as a separate custom metric down on the right hand side here. If you do add circulation to something like a print coverage outlet, we'll remember this for future as well. So if you import more coverage from the Seeker Times in future, we'll remember its audience. So you'll only need to input this value once. Just a quick mention that if you do add coverage and select different outlets, we will show different audiences for those. So for example, print will be circulation, TV we would show viewers, and radio we would show listeners. So you can kind of customize how those audiences are displayed when you share the report. So I think that's pretty much everything that I've got to showcase today. So hopefully we've covered all of the data that we collect and where that data comes from and what it measures, how you can customize your reports, and also how you can add in your own data. And then I promise this is just the very, very final thing to share with you. You've gone to all this trouble to add all of these kind of custom metrics and backlinks, and you've tailored how this report summary looks. If you tend to keep the same report formatting for all of your clients, a really quick way of not having to do all of that again is just go into the All Books page, click on the 3 links at the bottom of that book, and then you can copy it as a template. And what this will do is it will just make an exact blank copy of that book, but it will remember all of those settings. So it will remember the backlinks that you've set, and it will also remember all of the order of the metrics and the cards that you want to display. So hopefully this might save you a bit of time in having to do that manually in future. Okay, I think that's everything from me. Laura, you
Sorry.
there?
Yeah, sorry, I'm here. I was talking to myself then. I forgot to turn my audio back on. Thank you. That was a very quick whistle-stop tour of all of our metrics. Lots of questions on the chat. I've been going through them, but I'll carry on through them in a bit, in a second. I was just going to take over very quickly to show, now that you've seen all the different metrics you can use, just show you different examples of where they've been used in quite creative ways. So I'm just going to very quickly show you 3 reports and the different ways people have used them. So if I quickly share with you. So this first report, and I'll send, when I do the follow-up, I'll send a link to these reports. This is a very cool report in the way that they've done a good use of custom metrics. So obviously they've got some of the metrics that we included as well, but they've really used the custom size to tell a story about how many events they did, how many volunteer hours they've had, you know, how many countries the campaign span, their wins. I think my favorite one is 1 change of career. So sometimes you can just have a small metric and it is 1, but change of career, I thought this was really, really impactful. So it's just a really creative way of using those metric cards to tell a story. The second one I'm going to share is another report. And this one, what I quite liked about it is they've used the text below this time to show how much, what it was against their benchmark. So sometimes the number of out of context isn't that useful. So to say, you know, 90% of our coverage had a product image, our goal was actually 75%. So it's quite good to give a bit of context to the metrics that they've been using in the report. And although it's a webinar about metrics, the last one I was going to show is actually one that's taken off the metrics summary. So I know David showed you how to do that earlier on. And this is a good example of when you might want to do it. So this book is just showing examples of campaigns. And so therefore a total of the metrics wouldn't make sense. So you've just got an overview of some of the coverage and then the highlights, so you can see what type of coverage I think the spender group are able to get you. And so just because you have access to all the metrics doesn't always mean you should include all of them. So I'm quite vocal in that I think you should choose ones that are right for that account. And that's all I was popping on to do. So I'm going to quickly come back to you normally. And I think that's all we were going to cover for the moment. There's probably some outstanding questions, which we will quickly go through. I know I popped one into the demonstrations for you. Oh, we got a few. Yeah, did you want to show Ellie how she can include charts and graphs to a piece of to a report?
Yeah, sure. So at the moment, you can only add kind of like a numbered card to the metrics summary, but there are other places that you can add full page slides to really add some context. So if you go to the any of your coverage sections, so for example, online coverage, you'll see that there is a custom slides, add images and analysis button on the top left-hand corner. And if you click on here, you can import a JPEG, PNG, a GIF if you wanted to, and also a PDF. So if you would like to perhaps present some numbers or charts or add in your own context, I've seen some really nice kind of social media collage boards before that have been added as images. Just export that page from something like PowerPoint or Google Slides, and you can upload it as a full page slide to your report. So that will really help to kind of add some nice visual context as well.
Emma, you might want to expand about, can we talk about sorting order of coverage? If you could pop in the chat what you'd like to chat about and we can cover it off. Engagements, can we dive into that report on it? I'd like to be able to see the source data that's feeding the number and create a report on the social post. Relatedly, do we have to input the social links ourselves to display in a report? Oh, go on then, David.
Oh, no, I was just going to say a couple of things there, really. So, yeah, basically, all you would need to do for social media posts is just grab the direct URL for that post. So you don't need to do the embed code with the source text. We'll do that bit for you. But just go to something like Twitter or Instagram, just grab the URL of the post and import that as you would normally as a coverage link. So just click on the green plus add button in the top left. Click on add coverage links, just paste in all of your social URLs, and we should be able to grab an embed image and then the metrics as well for you. If I think you were asking about whether or not you can get to the source data of which accounts have liked and commented and stuff like that, that just wouldn't be possible because it's just an ever expanding, ever kind of infinite sort of dive into that platform, and we can only really grab the engagements, the kind of the specifically about the post, not necessarily who liked it. So I'm not sure if that's quite what you were asking for, but.
And then Emma, yes, you're right. We did change our sorting recently. So we improved it so you can sort by section, and we'll save that sort order. So before we used to have to make you resort it every time, and so the change you've seen recently is now we will save the sort order so you won't have to keep redoing it again. So hopefully that answers your question there.
Yeah, in fact, our last webinar was all about that, actually, wasn't it, Laura? So, so if you just go to the help and advice page on our website and go to the webinars section and just go to our last one, and it's all about sorting and organising coverage. So I think that should hopefully answer all of your questions.
And I think I'm trying to. Quinn's got one more question.
Yeah.
Since the data on social engagement seem to really be getting captured, would love to see the content itself surface for reporting. I appreciate the consideration. It's data on social engagement. Love to see the content itself. You might have to explain that one again to us, Quinn, I think.
Yeah, sorry. Not quite sure what you meant there, but I mean, did you want to if you want to maybe get in touch with us at support@coveragebook.com, I'll be manning support as ever. So yeah, come through to us and we can maybe pick that up and have a chat.
Okay, perfect. So it's already answered. And similarly, if we've missed any other questions, because there were quite a flurry at the end, we email support@coveragebook.com and we'll happily get back to you. So thank you for joining us for this one. It's got dark since we started presenting, I've noticed. Our next webinar is going to be on explaining all the different types of coverage you can add. So I noticed we had a few questions come through about different types of coverage. So it's quite apt that we're going to go through it and show you the different types of coverage we can add, how you add it, yeah, because we've got everything from stories, all different types of social coverage, print, online, broadcast. So show you the different ways you can add it and how we can display it in your reports. So what I'll do is we will, as always, send a recording of this webinar. And I'll also follow up with some links, especially to some of the questions that were asked and links that might be useful. And I'll also send you an invite to the next one if you'd like to come to the next one as well. Okay, well, it's lovely speaking to all of you and see you all again soon.
Yeah, see you all again soon. Thanks for joining. Bye.